some of the women who were having kids, they started to find other women in the Netherlands who also had kids by you. So Nicolette found out that her coworker was also, with child from you. And then she met 3 other people who you had children with. Some of these women would now basically start connecting the dots. In the process of finding out all these other kids, Nicolette wanted to find who the other moms were, and she found a Facebook group, which basically had all these women who you had kids with. And there were literally hundreds of women in this group. Did you know about this Facebook group?
Yeah, but that was much later. She started to find first her ex-colleague, and I must say I knew it before them because I had them or one of them on Facebook, and I saw her being friends with Nicolette. So and I was like, that's interesting. And I was like in a moral dilemma, like, do I have to tell or, I have to, on one side, respect the privacy of Nicolette, but on the other hand, yeah, it is, of course, yeah, they have contact with each other. So, but yeah, later they would set up a group to, have meet up with other recipients, with other women. Yeah.
Right. And then there was a lesbian couple named Kate and Laura from Australia.
Oh, yeah, I know them by a different name. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's not their name?
That's not their name, no.
So, you want to expose their real name?
Okay. Couldn't be bothered.
Got it. So they had 2 sons by you?
Yeah.
Now, you would travel to Australia?
No.
No?
They are the women that ordered from Cryos.
Cryos?
Yeah.
Aha.
The Danish bank. Yeah.
Okay, so Cryos is the company that would ship out sperm all over the world.
Yeah.
Right? It's the largest international sperm bank in the world.
Exactly, yeah.
Rudd was your alias.
Yeah, this is important for people to understand that Cryos would give me the name because they want to hide my identity. So they would provide the name and they would also provide like the way I look. Like they say I'm like Brad Pitt or like, come on, like very like a low tire Brad Pitt probably. But they would give you like some sort of how do you call it? Like description. Like how you are, sort of. So that was not my. People say, yeah, you have false names, but that was just a policy. They will do it for all the donors.
Right, it's anonymous.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So,
right, because they started finding out about this Facebook group. Basically, started getting all the mothers together, and then the families on this Facebook group would start having a sibling day in the Netherlands, where all these kids would come and get to know their brothers and sisters. Were you ever invited to any of these things?
Yeah, I started the first sibling day.
You started the first sibling day?
Yeah.
And you were there and you met, how many kids were at sibling day?
Well, we start with 3 families. Like Nicolette was there was another couple there. And like every year they would like join a new family. And I show you the one picture. There was like 20 families one day. But
how many of your kids have you been in the same room with? What's the most number in one room?
That was that day. It was like maybe 20 family, like maybe 25 children or something. Like.
So you're sitting here with your 25 children that all look like you in their own way. Was that sort of a surreal experience?
It was more surreal because, I help biracial or I have biracial children, but somehow on that day there would be only like the blonde, blue-haired girl. Almost all the children would be like the more blonde children. But it was more surreal to me. It was I'm used to being around with more of my children, the donor children, but it was more funny because we went to this certain section of The Hague where like it's like 100% are like Turkish, like and Morocco, they're like Arab people. And we came into this playground and it would look like what are these guys doing here? Why are they all like these like totally blonde? And they were like and I had to take pictures with them. They were like, is he like some sort of like like on a child's like TV show or something, because I was wearing my Hawaii shirt and I looked like a cartoon. Like I'm a bit cartoonish, you know, with the long hair, and that's just. And they were like, maybe he's like a known like from Sesame Street or something, you know, like that was more surreal than. But I must say it was a bit overwhelming too. I had no time to have proper conversations with the children one by one. So then I said next year, I say, I'll do smaller days, like.
Well, right, because at one of these meetups, you know, Nicolette said that a lot of the kids would just kind of connect with each other instantly, even though they didn't grow up with each other and didn't know each other. The fact that they were all half siblings, they would have this instant connection. And she did mention that her 10-year-old daughter had a crush on her 10-year-old brother. And it was a bit disturbing. You know, they call it Luke and Leia complex. You know, Luke and Princess Leia from Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Who didn't know that they were brother and sister until like Return of the Jedi. Like, you know,
really? Oh,
till the third movie. You know, and there was also this sort of weird tension between the two. And that is sort of the thing that sort of gets pushed in this documentary, of the fear of siblings falling in love with each other, having kids, and then now you have inbred children. What is your thought about this?
okay. Well, first, I of course, it's the parent to guide. If the parent has look, if the child has these feelings, the parent has to explain to them. Well, there are so many other boys in this world. You really have to find somebody else, and. That's not really. They make it out like a very big thing. But if you just tell your child, you know, they're the authority. Tell them you cannot do this. You cannot go with your half brother. There's enough boys out there. Get over it. That's something that I don't understand, why they make such a big deal out of it. You are the one like guide them the right way. And in life, you have so many times. I met wonderful women in my life, but I have my own limits. Like, okay, I may feel very, for example, I once was like so attracted to a girl, so in love, but I knew that I cannot be with her. This is not going to work. She's on a whole different level of thinking, of you know, ideas in life. You just can't. And that's life. You really have to sometimes, just say to yourself, well, I have these emotions, but I have to, you know, I cannot do it. It's just the way it is. And the interesting thing is about the inbreeding, because she brings it up more often, the chances of inbreeding. And she basically showed that in her situation, she found out like in one question, she just would have to ask like her colleague, like, hey, is your donor Jonathan? And she would know that, okay, they're siblings. And that's what people forget a lot. I get like on my YouTube channel, I have a YouTube channel where I cover now also like the donor things, and I get all the like the Pavlov reaction is like inbreeding, incest. I get it. I would probably think the same when I wasn't a donor, but I want to express that a known donor, and especially known donor plus, and I've been in the most cases known donor plus, they have the question, and that's their tool. They can ask anyone. For example, they can walk in here and they can ask you, "Are you a child?" Yeah, it's impossible. But for example, they could ask you, and you could say no, and they have the answer. So they make it like a whole big deal. But I think that the great thing about the known donor plus is that the inbreeding argument, or like fear, I must rather say, is, in my opinion, like basically zero.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there were studies that were done where they said that 20 to 36% of sibling children will die or have a major disability due to inbreeding. You know, they actually did a study of 29 offspring that resulted from brother-sister or father-daughter incest, and 20 had congenital abnormalities. There was a 1994 study that showed that inbreeding with first cousins had a 4.4% of mortality. Whereas if you look at second cousins, it's almost zero. So first cousins, brother, sister, there is actual medical science to say that this is a problem because you have recessive genes coming on both sides, and there could potentially be a problem. And although, yes, some people will go and do the extra, checks and so forth to make sure this other person isn't related to them, but these human beings are going off into the world everywhere, and you really can't be 100% sure that you're not going to date your brother or your sister.
Well, that's I totally understand all the studies, but it still implies that the children are not aware that they're from, first of all, that they are from a donor, and secondly, that I am their donor. So, for example, take Nicolette's daughter. She's moving to, say, Australia, and she will meet someone, a guy, and she was like, okay, I like this guy. She can, with one check, she can just ask, because I only help people that would be open about that the child is donor conceived. I would never donate to somebody that would only will not inform the children. So all the parents that I've helped, also in the clinics, they will be open one day, and the children can find also the record at the clinic. They know my name, so the suggestion that it's like, oh yeah, it's like the certainty that they will meet up and will have children is like, guys, come on. These children, they have the biggest weapon against inbreeding in their hands. Well, in their mouth. Because they can ask anybody. They can go here in LA. They can go ask any peer hey, are you a donor conceived child? Yes or no? And yes, is your father Jonathan? They can go ask anybody. But the studies done are, of course, always done on anonymous donors. Because now the times are changing. There's more known donors and more known donors plus. So we have to reconsider these studies. We have to now look at, okay, the children have really tools. Also, they have 23andMe, my ancestry. I get children on my 23andMe and my ancestry. They find out. I also can oh, you have a daughter. And I can chat. I chat, hey, how are you? I think we're related.
Oh, so you found a lot of your kids through 23andMe.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You're on there as well. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't know them. They were conceived by the clinic. So I really think it's very important that people are very careful, because it's really hurting to the children that people say it's 99% of reactions. I block them all because I don't want the children to see this nonsense. Oh, they were going to have sex with each other. Oh, they're how. Come on, they know.
It could happen, though. Let's just be fair. It could happen if the mother or the father decides not to tell the kids. Because, look, you can't deny that it's a little bit embarrassing for a father to tell his child, I'm not really your father. I couldn't have children. We had to go get a sperm donor, and I'm biologically not related to you. Listen, I have friends in my own life, one of my best friends who's black, who has white Russian parents, told me in 5th grade that both of his parents are white, and his mom told him he must have had a black relative somewhere that they didn't know about, and that's why he ended up black. He started to have all type of psychological problems. In high school, he tried to kill himself, and his mom finally said, okay, I had an affair with a black guy at work. Let's go do a DNA test with your real father, who looks just like him. Suddenly, he gets introduced to his real father and all these siblings who he's now meeting for the first time. And then his life kind of got a lot more calm after that. But he still calls this the Great Deception to this day, and he's had issues throughout his life. Parents lie. This is just the reality of life, right?
Yeah.
So you can't stop. You can't say 100% because it is what it is.
Well, then, like I say, I took I was very responsible.
Right. It is on the parents, but it is reality.
Yeah. And I made sure that the parents would inform them. I would also if I, for example, one time there was a couple and they would say we will not tell you that you are, or that the child is donor deceived. But I said, look, what are you talking about? The child can do a DNA test, in what is it, 8th grade or 5th? I don't know what is in but in high school they can they do it with biology. You know, they could do a chip DNA test.
They can
and
go to a pharmacy and buy one for $10.
Exactly. I said, what are you doing? This is so stupid. Be open. And like I say, that's why I have no worry about the inbreeding. Like you say, like I know that the parents will not lie to the children because I screen them like very careful. Like I really said, like, look, I only help you if. And they said, no, of course we are open. We will inform the children when they ask. We will slowly. I'm. This is also like hurting to the recipients because they were. Many people say, oh, you know, they will not take care of this, but they're very responsible people. They know that this is a concern, and they will inform the child. And of course, there might be somebody in the clinic that I have no contact with. They might do that, but then there's still the children can do the net. And I know as a fact that in the clinic they also do like they have like counseling, and they will like sort of make sure that the parents are telling the children the truth. So I can understand the first reaction of people like inbreeding and all this stuff, and there will be like, of course, there will be moments for the children that will be difficult when they meet some that is that's possible.
They find out they have the same dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.